Well, also on what's brewing, global deep tech venture capital firm Celesta Capital has onboarded technology investor and product leader Anand Chandrasekaran as managing partner. Anand has more than 2 decades of experience identifying transformative startups as well as founding and scaling global companies. To talk to us about Celesta's 2025 growth plans, joining me now are Celesta Capital's managing partners, Anand Chandrasekaran and Arun Kumar. Anand and Arun, welcome to Startup Street. Arun, let me first start with you. Let's talk about 2024. It has been a fabulous year for Indian tech startups, hitting the bosses, record number of IPOs. Your take on how the year has been for the Indian startup ecosystem?
Yeah, it's really great to be here. We had a great year at Celesta in 2024. We had a number of exciting milestones in Celesta. Most recently, we invested in a very exciting company in India called One Cell Diagnostics, which is a very promising bioconvergence, AI-enabled cancer diagnostics company for precision oncology. So we led a substantial Series A round for them. And it's a great example of the potential of the US-India corridor. Great science and technology being developed in India, which can then be taken globally. We had invested in the rocket startup, Agnikul Cosmos, which had a successful first rocket launch, powered by their single-piece 3D printed engine. And this received a lot of attention, including to the level of Prime Minister Modi. The other investments of ours did really well. Pixis, which is a company that was spawned here in India, has gone global. They were a Gen AI company before Gen AI became such a common term. And they're doing really, really well, focused globally, but particularly in the Americas. 5C Networks, another AI-enabled company here, is seeing extremely good growth in India, as well as beginning to expand globally. And then last year, we had IdeaForge, which had a very successful IPO. So we have had overall a great 2024.
Absolutely.
Looking globally in other parts of Celesta universe, AI chip startup Reckoning received $100 million financing and an exciting partnership with Juniper to deliver energy-efficient generative AI systems. We welcomed Crescendo AI, which Anand will talk about.
Yes.
He's a founder of Crescendo AI into our portfolio. Very interesting company.
All right.
It's transformative in its approach.
All right. So Arun, the portfolio companies...
Delighted.
So the portfolio companies have done well. You've built some great partnerships. Let me go across to Anand now. Anand, tell us, how does it feel to be back on the other side of the cap table? Celesta is a big on deep tech, and having previously served as a partner at General Catalyst, as well as product leader at Meta, Five9, Bharti Airtel, Snapdeal. You bring years of experience to the VC firm. What's exciting you the most now?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me as well. Really excited to be part of such a great team. As Arun mentioned, the firm has been investing since 2013 and has 4 active funds, over $1 billion in AUM. The 3 things that I really like are, one, a very clear focus on early stage deep tech that Celesta has. For over a decade, the firm has been investing in just companies that have strong IP, differentiated technologies, durable differentiation as a result of that. And the team has really developed a lot of operating experience in this area. And in a way, we're kindred souls. So I have the same kind of background in terms of operating experience.
Yes.
And lastly, as these really incredible founders build in India for the world, as well as for the local markets, a lot of times they need sort of very unique market access, which Celesta has invested quite a bit of time in building that it brings for the firm. So really excited to be part of the team here.
All right. Arun, coming back to you, how do you see leaders like Anand shaping how Celesta builds its presence in India? And also, if you could talk to us about how the next year will pan out for the startup ecosystem, given the election, geopolitical, and the macroeconomic headwinds and tailwinds are concerned.
Well, first of all, I'm very excited to have Anand join us. He typifies the kind of success that we look to create in a broad sense in the US-India corridor, because the US-India tech corridor, we believe, is going to be a tremendous locus of innovation and great companies. And Anand typifies success in India and Silicon Valley. And the fact that he's sitting in Silicon Valley and I'm sitting here in Bangalore, we're working together is an example of what we'd like to see in a very broad sense. So here we are targeting deep tech growth sectors, from semiconductors, fabless semiconductors, transportation and logistics, space tech, as I mentioned, advanced manufacturing, industrial automation, AI, and bioconvergence. These are the broad areas that we are looking to invest in. Globally, we have invested over 100 companies, and about 15% of our investments are in India. So looking at the overall macroeconomic outlook, and the dynamics that are happening geopolitically, I think India is in a very good position, and we are in a very good position because of the US-India focus that we have. India is going to benefit from a number of the geopolitical trends. The great emphasis on global resilience of supply chains means that more and more companies will do work in India. India itself, looking to be more resilient, will want to have more companies focused on meeting Indian demand locally. And we have played in that space. I mean, IdeaForge is a great example of that, and other companies that we've invested in will play very much into the Indian market as well as the global market. I think innovation is going to be another part that's going to be central to India's relationship with the US. So as you may know, there's this whole initiative on critical and emerging technologies that's focused on getting the US and India to work together and removing many of the barriers in working together so that both countries can work at the forefront. And this is going to drive more needs for innovation. And that's where the funds like us come in to help promote that ecosystem innovation. So I'm really excited about where the geopolitical trends are taking the opportunities for us and for us in both in India and in the US.
All right, Anand, coming back to you, Arun touched upon this a little bit. If you could talk to us about your future investment strategy for India and the kind of sectors and startups you will be targeting.
I think the overall deep tech space is having sort of its moment, right? So I've been lucky to partner with founders over a decade at this point. And in the first phase, we saw global companies get replicated in India, what we call the X of Y companies, whether it's Amazon of India, Uber of India, and so on. In the second phase, we started to see SaaS founders, software founders, build in India for the world, where the markets were really outside India and for the most part. And then we started to take B2C capabilities, B2C marketplace capabilities, and start to invest that in digitizing various sectors of GDP, right? Whether it's B2B marketplaces and other ways. And now we're in almost like the fourth phase where Indian founders, almost emboldened by the success of the last 10 years, are taking on the most ambitious challenges, as Arun just outlined. And so we're really in this moment where there are strong IP, strongly differentiated technologies that are starting to get built out of India. Of course, software founders have created a path for how these companies can launch in India and grow globally. So we're really excited about pursuing a lot of the sectors that Arun just talked about, which, by the way, is where we've invested over the last 10 years or so. But I think we have this moment where, for all the reasons that Arun just talked about, the macro trends and so on, the India-US corridor starts to come into prominence going forward.
Sure. Let's talk about AI now. Arun, how do you view the scalability of Gen AI and deep tech startups? If you could quickly throw some light on that.
Sure. So we see AI as central to our view of opportunities, both in the US as well as here. And so we've invested for several years now in the whole stack, all from the semiconductor level all the way through systems and applications. And we're seeing great examples right here in India. I briefly mentioned 5C networks, which brings AI to radiology across the length and breadth of the country. And they're seeing amazing results. I mentioned OneCell, which is an example of bioconvergence, bringing AI and computer science together with biotech and genomics. Pixis, which also I mentioned, is an example of a company born in India in Gen AI that's seeing success globally. So we are seeing that Gen AI is going to be an area of great opportunity for us. Most recently, we're working with a company that is applying Gen AI to enterprises. So across the board, from whether it's from the semiconductor level to the applications level, or whether it's from areas like healthcare or more broad enterprises, we're seeing that AI is going to be very, very impactful. It is a cycle shift that we think will bring great opportunities.
Absolutely. And we've seen that with Crescendo AI as well, that has reached more than 50+ million in revenue and $500 million in less than a year of operations in terms of valuation. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Many thanks, the both of you, for joining us today on Startup Street, and wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.